When Charlotte and I were about to get married, I was overcome with an indescribable joy that gave me wings. She was every man's dream come true. Beautiful, smart, easygoing, good-natured, and successful. There were no warning signs, and I had no idea what lurked beneath the surface of my sweet and affectionate bride. I work as a VIP negotiation manager, mostly with foreign clients: Arabs, Chinese, Iranians, Turks. Charlotte explained, shedding light on her unusual work schedule. She only goes to work when she gets a call. Despite my jealousy, I suppressed my doubts, imagining rich men casting admiring glances at my fiancée and fearing they might be overstepping their bounds. Charlotte reassured me that her clients were serious people who dealt exclusively with business matters. Sometimes I was assigned to accompany them to a restaurant to review documents or to keep potential investors from getting bored, she said. We dined together purely for professional reasons, Charlotte said. Her openness about her work and willingness to share its details helped put me at ease. One day I was standing at a busy downtown intersection waiting for a green light. I had been let off work early. I had received a bonus, and my heart was filled with joy and happiness. And then I inexplicably turned my head to the left and noticed a car next to me, also waiting to change the traffic light. To my surprise, my fiancée was sitting behind the wheel, and next to her was an exquisitely dressed man of Oriental origin. I couldn't see inside the car because of the tinted windows that blocked the view outside. As I was looking at the traffic light, preparing for it to change, my attention abruptly shifted to the car to my left. To my shock and outrage, I saw my fiancé engaged in an intimate act with a man of unknown nationality. I assumed an Arab. Their passionate kisses and the man's wandering hands stirred a storm of emotion in me. In a daze, I barely remember how I got home. The traffic light turned green, but I remained standing still, causing the irate motorists behind me to honk their horns protestingly. Still not believing my eyes, I didn't have time to react properly, but somehow avoided an accident. It was simply a miracle. Charlotte, trying to brush off the situation, laughingly proclaimed her innocence. Behind this facade, however, I could sense her genuine fear and anxiety about the possible repercussions of exposing her actions. I knew, however, that I was not mistaken. The dress she wore that evening matched the one she wore during the meeting. At that moment, I felt a surge of anger, contemplating whether to confront her and express my disappointment. The thought of hitting her for trying to make a fool of me flashed through my mind. But I held back. Thankfully, I held back. She desperately tried to justify her act, citing her job and the fact that the company was forcing her to entertain rich clients for extra pay. Allegedly, she was going to quit after our wedding, claiming she wanted to keep her job. Charlotte stared at me, her eyes filled with tears, desperation evident on her face as she tried to reach out and show affection. But the thought of her touch, even a simple hug or kiss, turned me away completely. I couldn't understand why she behaved this way, why her actions went beyond what I would consider promiscuity. You mentioned quitting your job after our wedding, but what about before? How is it acceptable to engage with other men and then act like nothing happened? I voiced my frustration, pacing around the rooms and tossing things out of closets in a fit of anger. Realizing that I needed some space from the situation, I made the decision to stay at a friend's house for a few hours, giving Charlotte the chance to collect herself and leave my apartment, leaving my life for good. From that point on, our paths never crossed again. I later learned from mutual friends that Charlotte continued working at the same firm, occasionally seen with different affluent men who clearly had more than a professional relationship with her. Psychologists may argue that a promiscuous woman, whether in marriage or love, can change, but I found it hard to believe. If someone is truly rotten, if they're willing to stoop to such levels for money, I doubted they would ever truly change.